Let's crack on. Let's crack on with the agenda then, if we can start with any declarations of interest. I'm not seeing any. In that case, apologies for absence, Lawrence.
Yes, so we have apologies for absence from Councillor Ciotti, Councillor Clatworthy, Councillor Crump, Councillor Dorks, Councillor Della, Councillor Duffy, Councillor Dyke, Councillor Adrian Hardman, Councillor Kearsey, Councillor Sims and Councillor Julie Tucker.
Thank you. So, on to the substantive content of this afternoon. Council tax formal resolution. Over to Councillor Stokes to introduce this report and propose the recommendation.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, it is quite strange to sit here on a Friday afternoon, but ever in the call of duty, we will do our duty and we will represent our residents, irrespective of abilities in other areas. Okay, on Wednesday, I made the proposal, and it was agreed by a named vote, to approve the formal resolutions of the Council for 26-27. The recommendations contained in that report are and remain necessary for the legal setting of the Council Tax 26-27. The report dealt with the District Council Tax, major preceptors, excluding Worcestershire County Council, but including town and parish council precepts and any other council tax setting matters. Today's meeting requires an update to the formal resolution following the agreement of the County Council precept for 26-27. On Wednesday, I advised members to look at Schedule 2 on the appendices, and in summary, the report advised that £640.63p was the precept for Pershore. All preceptors at that time. That included the police, the fire authority, county council, district council and town council. So your waste, your parks, your toilets, your planning were all included in a precept value of a total value of £640.63 per annum. So in answer to Councillor Crump's question is how to understand the differences within the council tax bill, this is an incredibly good way of looking at it. On Wednesday, excluding the council tax, Pershore's precept for everything that happened in this area is £640.63. I now draw your attention to Appendix 2. In today's report, and advise members that the same services for the Pershore Town Council is now £2,400, an increase of £1,700 in a precept which was agreed by the administration and others at County Council yesterday. Therefore, I reluctantly propose the recommendations included within the report from page 5, 2.1 and to page 9 to include all precepting bodies now included the County Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader, are you seconding this or is this... Yeah.
Good afternoon, Council, and thank you all for coming in today, so I appreciate that. I will second the recommendations. I probably have to say a bit about yesterday. I know on Wednesday we said that we wouldn't blur the two, but we knew the impending occurrence that was going to happen yesterday. And it was very sad for anyone who witnessed and watched it yesterday at County Council. A number of councillors chose not to vote, and by choosing not to vote, allowed the administration to put forward an 8.98% council tax increase, which we know for many of our residents will really worsen their position and create more hardship and more problems in an environment where many people are struggling at the moment. So I think yesterday was devastating. So certainly I voted against, and many of my colleagues did, but there were a number of councillors who were absent at the vote, and I think they shamed the outcome. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Birch, you were indicating to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks. I've been recently put onto the Fire Authority, which has meant my first meeting there was to decide on their precept. So the only person who the only precept area I haven't really been given an input on was the PCCs. So maybe next year I'll have to drop in an email and have a say on that one too. But just to go over them, the Fire Authority particularly, you know, we've got to give kudos to where it's due. John Price has done an incredible job when it comes to lobbying government, and to be honest, to give all the credit where it is due, that has been in a large part down to the work of the likes of Chris Bloor, who have worked with him very closely to put his influence in at government, while we had the likes of Nigel and Harriet had also written in. They possibly don't have as much influence over a Labour government as a Labour MP does. But thankfully there's a much better settlement now for the fire service, which has meant that they haven't had to increase by the same level, and they are going to be able to protect frontline services, which is really good news. Of course, our precept is incredibly positive. Our council tax rate is incredibly low and competitive. The Worcestershire County Council got a little bit heated yesterday. It's fair to say that I came to this meeting a little bit more zen than I possibly was at lunchtime this time yesterday. But it was right to get heated. It was a difficult debate and it was a challenging one. And the result was absolutely not what we wanted. So I'll apologise to the residents across Worcestershire and those within my own patch that it will be a hit. And I think it means that when we look at this £5 million allocation that we've put into our budget, there now needs to be a greater emphasis on what we can do to protect those who are being squeezed by not only the cost of living, but now an increase in council tax, and ensuring that we use our resources here where we are able to financially support others to give back where we can. But overall, I think it's a positive position here at Wychavon, even if across the county it's a slightly more challenging picture.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who... Councillor Rowley.
Yes, I abstained from the vote on Wednesday because I had hopes that the County Council might have reduced their precept slightly, their proposal slightly. So, have not, then I will be supporting the proposal this time, because I think that if whatever we can do to ease people's burden, residents' burden, we should do. Though previously I had reservations because
Councillor Rowley, this isn't the budget setting, this is the precept, this is the formal resolution, which was a named vote and you agreed.
That's what I was talking about, yes. I abstained from the vote. So can I go on with what my point
It's not really...
was that
whoever voted for what will have been minuted. I don't think we really need to argue about it at this particular stage.
Can I just finish what I was saying? I was just giving the reasons why I didn't feel I could support the vote last time. And that is because the Audit Committee had actually proposed a 2% increase for Wychavon, and I felt that that was important to take note of that. But now we realise that the County Council has put up the precept by such a high amount, I can appreciate that perhaps we should go for the 0% increase. That was the point I wanted.
Okay, Councillor Homer, and then the leader.
The budget scrutiny process, which we've talked about at length, and I don't really want to go over again, and I think everyone understands my sentiment from that point of view, we agreed that we would recommend a 2% increase. When the government settlement came in, it was a completely different picture than what we knew about when the recommendations were put forward. That's an important caveat, I think, to this conversation. Okay, over to the leader. Just to remind you that we are debating the
the council tax resolution today. I appreciate that many people may have things they wish to say about other resolutions that have already been made, but if we could focus on what we're actually debating today, that would be helpful.
Thank you, Chairman, but I do have to say, just because of what was said previously, that if the Liberal Democrats and Labour had not left the meeting early yesterday and had voted against the budget, it would have been lost, and we would not have had 8.98% increase. The Conservative administration put forward an amendment that would have risen by 4.99 and much more rigorous savings.
Councillor Tucker.
Thank you. I welcome the point that you've made advising this committee or council that we're here to take the decision which is on the papers, which I willingly do because it's just got to go ahead. I think it's unfortunate for people to be chewing the cud over what they didn't like about previous debates, and I think we should just get on with the job which has to be done. And who wants the government taking over Worcestershire rather than them trying hard to undo the problems they're in?
Councillor Franks.
Yeah, I was just going to say if we can get on with the vote, because I'm a bit fed up with the finger pointing by the people who caused the problem in county in the first place. So it'd be nice just to move on. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else who desperately feels they need to speak? In that case, we will proceed to the vote. This is going to be a named vote again, so I'll hand over to Misha to go through this.
So I will call out your name if you can clearly indicate for, against or abstaining. Councillor Arnold.
For.
Councillor Birch.
For.
Councillor Day.
For.
Councillor Franks.
For.
Councillor Googe.
For.
Councillor Beverley Hardman.
For.
Councillor Homer.
For.
Councillor Knight.
For.
Councillor Middleborough.
For.
Councillor Nicola Morris. For. Councillor Richard Morris.
For.
Councillor Raphael.
For.
Councillor Reeves.
For.
Councillor Robinson.
For.
Councillor Robson.
For.
Councillor Rowley.
For.
Councillor Stokes.
For.
Councillor Tucker.
For.
Councillor Trurier.
For.
Councillor Ward. Councillor Wilkins.
For.
Councillor Wright.
Okay, thank you everybody. That's a unanimous resolution, and that concludes today's agenda. So you're all welcome to have a rare Council Poets Day on a Friday.